why my online coaching business is so super important to me. But so I wanted to come on here. My name is Erin. I'm a health coach that helps women to get in the best shape of their lives. I've been doing that since 2010. I'm also a veterinarian who has been a veterinarian since 2008. And now I'm a mom since 2015. He is amazing. And okay, so the news that I got, the job that I thought was going to be perfect, that I accepted starting October 1st, they could not find enough work for me, even though it was a part-time position. I don't know. I think that the company, it's kind of shady, the things that I was finding out, and just like the way they were, like what they were charging clinics for me to work for them. It was like a staffing company for veterinarians, basically. But I would have been on salary, which was why it was so appealing to me. And anyways, it fell through today, before 12 days before my start date. And so I was found out just today, and I've been super bummed all day, although I've still been just proactive and getting my day done, and I still did my workout, and I still made some calls, and I have a couple more things to do, and I have to get some groceries. But I've been pretty much staying on track with my day, even though I was bummed. It took me off course though a little bit. So I thought I would come on here and just talk about it, because I think sometimes people don't quite understand. I'm already a veterinarian. Like, why would you want to be doing this coaching business thing? But it's because I feel like, especially in this day and age, I really feel like it's really important to have multiple streams of income, because things like this could happen. You can't have all your eggs in one basket and be relying on a job, and then what if the company goes under, or what if they decide to hire someone else, or what if all those things can happen. And if you have all your eggs in one basket, then your income is gone. Like, you can't have all your eggs in one basket of income. And for me, especially being a single mom, like that my husband is still dealing with some things, and he helps out a little bit, but not too much right now. A little bit he helps out, and I really have to have multiple streams of income for me to make it. So what I wanted to come on here about is something that really frustrates me. I don't know if this happens in other professions, but one thing that really frustrates me about veterinary medicine was that before I had my son, and especially before I got married, but especially before I had my son, I was super valuable in my career. I graduated, and then I was super valuable. And even when I was a veterinary technician too, super valuable, because I would work all the hours. I would pick up any shift. I would work at any clinic. I would do overnights. I would do swing shift. I would do whatever was asked of me, I would do. And I would work, 65, sometimes 70 to 80 hours a week. At the emergency clinic that I worked at, one time I even worked 3 12-hour shifts in a row, so 36 hours in a row I worked. And at the end of that shift, my feet were so bloody, they were swollen. I couldn't even stand up anymore. I was literally standing on the sides of my feet talking to clients in the room, and praying the next veterinarian would finally get there. And then finally when they got there and we rounded, I ran to the back and pulled off my shoes and my socks, and my feet were they were so awful. They were 3 times their size. My ankles were all swollen, and it was awful. And so I said I was never going to do 36 hours again, but I still continued to do 24-hour shifts there for a while. And then, I was working overnights up until I was 8.5 months pregnant. And I just realized that the way I worked as an emergency veterinarian, I was working, all night long, obviously, and getting up at 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, and then driving home and getting home at 10 to 11 o'clock in the morning, and then sleeping for 5 hours. And that was my sleep that I got, and then going back to work. And I realized with a newborn, I wasn't going to be able to work all night and then be up all day. I was going to have to sleep in between shifts. I'd have to sleep during the day, but I couldn't sleep with a newborn. So I just realized begrudgingly and weirdly. Like, it took me a long time to realize that life was going to change now that I had a son. And I started also going to a program for codependency and working on boundaries and people pleasing, because that's what codependency is being a people pleaser. And I started standing up for myself and telling them like what I could do and what I couldn't do and what was important to me, and having priorities. And when I started standing up for myself, although that's amazing, and having boundaries and everything, it also made me super unvaluable as a veterinarian. And like, people were like, okay, well, we respect that, or they would like push and try to get me to do more and more and more, but then they like, I wasn't as valuable, and I haven't been as valuable as a veterinarian since I started setting boundaries. And then it was like, the clincher is, after I had my son, I started a new job working emergency during the day, and it was a shift where I would work Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then every other Monday or something like that. I think it was like every other Monday, because, you know, most of the time I have to work on the weekends. Daycares aren't open on the weekends, so I had to have a private sitter for the weekends, daycare on the all day, the full time from the open till closed, and then I was still late picking my son up from daycare all the time because I could never get out on time, and having to pump during work. And they would literally make me pump in the bathroom for my son. They would literally like roll their eyes at me when I told them I had to like stop and pump. Like, it was completely inconvenient to them that I would do anything like that I wouldn't just like give up, give my son a bottle and keep working. And no, it was super important to me. I breastfed my son, sorry, but TMI, but that's not TMI, because it's important to me, and like, my son's health is important to me. So those are the problems that I've encountered. And so then basically I worked in 2015 Labor Day weekend. I worked the busy Labor Day weekend. Of course, they wanted to make sure they got me working the whole weekend for them, so they could come back on Monday morning and lay me off and tell me that, because I was sometimes 5 minutes late of driving my 3-month son to the daycare, nursing him at the daycare, and then driving to work, and I'd be 5 minutes late, but yet staying 30 minutes to an hour overtime, sometimes, like, and coming in on my days off to do medical records for hours at a time, but yet 5 minutes late in the morning. That made the difference. So So these are some of the things. I'm just telling you some of my story. So the reason why I started coaching is because I was working 65 hours a week at a corporate job in the beginning, veterinary job. I was working from the morning until 7 o'clock at night, and then staying till 10 o'clock to do medical records, and I had gained 30 pounds, and I could not get to the gym except for on the weekends. If that, I was so exhausted and burnt out all the time, and I had little social life, and this gave me at least a way that I could work out wherever, and wake up early, do my workout, take a shower, and go to work. At least it gave me an outlet where I could have my shakes on the commute instead of Starbucks. So that's why I'm so super passionate about this. And I think that's mostly what I wanted to say, but I just wanted to come on here and let you know that what happened and why this is so super important to me, and why creating this side hustle business is so, I just think it's super important to have a second stream of income. And I think it's so important, first of all, in our profession, in case you didn't know, veterinarians have a high rate of suicide, and I think it stems from this people-pleasing thing where we work too many hours, where we're not taking care of ourselves, where clients don't value us. They think that they can get cheap meds online and on Amazon, and it will do the same thing. And sometimes I've had clients tell people that, oh, well, I know all about having cats. I've had cats for 30 years. Oh yeah, that definitely negates my $160,000 veterinary education, because you know everything about cat there is about cats, because you've owned them all your life. That's how people treat us. They treat us like like not worth anything, and that we charge too much, and that we don't have that we should treat their pets for free. And if we really cared, we would treat our pets for free. And that's why all of the reasons that I've probably mentioned are reasons why we have a crisis in veterinary medicine now. And it's the thing that is going to help the most with this is learning boundaries, taking care of yourself, prioritizing your self-care, and learning to stand up for yourself and prioritize your self-care in your family life and what's important to you. No matter what, if you're a parent or not, there's relationships in your life, because relationships are everything in life. And if you don't have relationships, really, that we have nothing. So regardless if you're a parent or not, there's got to be a relationship in your life that's important. Or you just can't work all the time and not have anybody that's important to you. So that's it. That's all I wanted to say. Hi guys. I just wanted to come on here. I was talking a little bit about what happened today and why I'm so passionate about having this, about having a second stream of income, about helping others to get healthy and fit in all aspects of their life, have their own business, help other women, say me too, and stick a hand out and help and pull others.